Hi everyone. Today I'd like to take this Barry Harris concept of scale outlines, in other words just running the basic scales through a whole form, like we did on the blues. Right, etc. through the whole form. But today we're going to focus on doing that over B-flat rhythm changes. So let's just get right into it. So rhythm changes, if you're familiar with them, instead of being 12 bars long like a normal standard blues form is, rhythm changes is a form that is 32 measures in length. And those 32 measures can be divided into 4 sections. And each section is 8 measures long if you do the math. So 8 measures in every section times 4 sections is 32 bars, which is how long the form is. And the type of form that we like to call rhythm changes is what we call A-A-B-A. So there are 2 A sections followed by a B section, often called a bridge, and then we end with an A section. And because we've got 3 A sections, you'll probably find, once we get into this a little bit, that learning this form as far as a scale outline is slightly easier than the blues because there's a lot of repetitiveness. So let's just get right into it. So the chord changes for B-flat rhythm changes that you'll find, normally the chord changes will change every 2 beats. So in other words, every measure will often have 2 chords within them. So as far as the chords are concerned, we're starting with B flat major or B flat 6, going into G minor 7 for the first bar, and then going into C minor 7, and then F7 for the second bar. So this is what a lot of people like to call a 1, 6, 2, 5 progression. And in order to outline that, all we're going to use are just 2 scales. We're going to use B flat major to outline the B flat major 7 and the G minor 7, and we're going to use F dominant 7 to outline the C minor 7 to F7. Now you might be asking, why am I using B flat major to outline G minor 7? Well, let me explain why. If you look at a B flat major 7th chord, okay, here it is. If you also look at a G minor 7, you'll notice that that's the chord that's built on the 7th scale degree of the B flat major scale. So just like I've talked about in some of the other videos, that chord comes from the B flat major scale, and that's why we can use a B flat major scale to outline it. So that's what we're dealing with in the first small chunk of rhythm changes. So we've got B flat major just going up, and then F7 just going up, and then we repeat the same thing. B flat major going up, and then F7 going up. So that much would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now from here, the chord change that will be present, it'll go from B flat major to B flat dominant 7. And for that, we're going to use the B flat dominant 7 scale, just going up. And then the next chord change is we'll have E flat dominant 7. So we'll use the E flat dominant scale. And then for the last 2 bars of what we call the A section, it's just going to be B flat major just up, and then F7 just up. into G minor 7, and then into our 2-5, our C minor 7 into F7. So you might be asking, why am I using the B flat major scale to outline a D minor 7? And the reason is, again, that D minor 7 is built on the third scale degree of the B flat major scale. So that's why it works. So our entire A section, if I'm going to start at the beginning of the form, would sound like this with our scale outline. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the entire first A section. That's our first 8 measures of the form. So what's really easy about this is after that first A section, we go into our second A section. And this second A section is completely identical to the first A section as far as the scale outline, except for one condition. At the end, instead of doing that B flat major up into F7 up, all we're going to do is just do B flat major up and down. That's it. And that's the only difference. So those are the first A sections, the first 2 A sections, so I'll just do them both back to back so you can hear what they sound like combined together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second A section. So that's the first 2 A sections right back to back. So now we're on the B section, which is commonly known to musicians as the bridge. So it's a point of harmonic release where we're going somewhere else. And for rhythm changes in the key of B flat, we're going to D dominant 7 for 2 bars, so 2 full measures. So because it occupies 2 full measures, all we're going to do is just the D dominant 7 scale up and down. And then we're going to do the same thing for the next chord, which is just a 4th away, so G dominant 7. And we're going to play G dominant 7 up and down. And then we go up another 4th, and then we're playing C dominant 7 up and down. And then we go up a 4th again, and we're on F7, so we're playing F7 up and down. And that's the entire bridge, so that sounds like this. Back to the last A section. So let me run rhythm changes starting from the beginning of the form, and I'll go to the end of the bridge where I just stopped. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the second A section. right on the last A section. And on the last A section, it's exactly identical to the first A section. So the same chords that we started out with, and then we do the B flat major just ascending, and then F7 just ascending. And that's the whole form. That's rhythm changes. So again, I'll start from the beginning for the sake of reinforcement, and I'll run through the entire form. And I'm just walking bass with my left hand so you can hear the outline of the chords. So here's the entire scale outline for rhythm changes in B flat. A 1, 2, 3, 4. So I highly recommend that if you're trying to get into rhythm changes with improvising, that you start with this basic scale outline first, and you'll find that if you take this step, then you'll have a greater grasp on harmonically what palette you need to work with in order to successfully improvise. So I think I might do a video like I did with the blues on how you can put these small elements together over rhythm changes, and look forward to that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.